three distinct diseases I'll take: malaria, leishmania, and trypanosoma. I'll take filarial, this thing. Filariasis I'll teach you today, visceral lymphatic filariasis, and malaria and hemoflagellate में leishmania. ठीक है? Malaria and leishmania both are protozoal. Leishmania is hemoflagellate. Along with this, I'll teach you lymphatic filariasis. ठीक है? There's also cutaneous filariasis, but I'll teach you what? Lymphatic filariasis. So this is SGD. You will have to just know about everything in brief. What is malaria? I just mentioned, no, malaria is a protozoal disease. What is the classic triad for malaria? Anybody? Common symptom? Fever. Fever, splenomegaly, and anemia after the bite, history of mosquito bite. What is the vector in malaria? Mosquito. Which mosquito? Anopheles mosquito. Okay. Which female or male? Female. Okay. Okay. So these are certain symptoms that you can see in malaria, and the life cycle of malarial parasite is little distinguished. It takes place in two forms, sexual and asexual. Sexual takes place in mosquito, sexual cycle takes place in man. Okay, so just pay attention. Here you can see, what is this? This is a sporozoid. Sporozoid is coming from where? It's coming from saliva of mosquito. So during bite, when mosquito is biting a person, you will release these sporozoids into bloodstream. Then these sporozoids will go where? In liver. So this is also known as pre-erythrocytic stage or hepatic stage. Okay. So when in hepatocytes, these will be converted to what? Merozoites. Okay. Again, these merozoids will be taken up by the RBCs, and certain RBCs will convert them into gametocytes. Gametocytes are sexual forms of these protozoa. Okay. So when there is a female gametocyte, it's a macrogamete, and when it's a male, it's microgamete. Okay. So again, when the mosquito is biting, these gametes will be taken up by the mosquito. When there are asexual forms, they get digested, but these sexual forms, they will undergo what? Fertilization. So you can see here, these gametes are going ookinesis, undergoing ookinesis. They will form oocyst and then subsequently again sporozoids. So this is the cycle. Okay. How will you diagnose this? What is the sample you are taking? Blood sample. With blood sample, what will you do? You will perform two kinds of peripheral blood smear. One is thin and one is thick. What happens with the thick one? It's a sensitive thing. Okay. You will be able to tell that there are parasitized RBCs, right? But when you have to do the speciation, when you have to know which plasmodium is causing this, you will have to do thin smear. How to perform a thin smear? You can just slide another slide along the slide you have taken the blood drop on, right? You have to make a feathery thin smear so that you can see the parasitized RBC properly. Then how will we distinguish them? Can you see this? These are the stages. Okay, these are the stages plasmodium is undergoing. And these are what? The species. Plasmodium vivax, falciparum, maliri, oval, and there is one more, knowlesi. Okay. Just take a look at early trophozoite phase. What you can see? This is a ring-like structure, right? This is what? Nucleus. The blue thing is cytoplasm. Inside it is vacuole. Can you see these things are common over here? In all of them? But in falciparum, you can see the multiple rings. This is known as ecole form. So this is significant for which? Falciparum. In late trophozoite stage, it will take up a form of amoeboid structure. But in malaria, Plasmodium malaria, it's in a band form. This is looking like a band, right? And just take a look at here. This is fibrinated. You can see these projections. This is different here, right? Fimbria. Okay. What will happen then? These merozoites, when these merozoites are there in the RBC, you can distinguish them based on the numbers. The maximum numbers you can see are here in Plasmodium vivax. Here they are less in number. This form is actually not seen, okay, in the blood. Then female gametocyte will be a little larger than the male gametocyte, and in falciparum it would look like a banana shaped structure, okay. What are these things? Dot, dots, dots. These are pigments, okay. This Plasmodium is surviving on what? What is it consuming? It's consuming hemoglobin. So these are all digested hemoglobins, hematins and all. So what will happen? They will take up different colors. So based on the pigments also you can distinguish them, okay. How are we distinguishing them? Based on early trophozoite phase, ring-like structure. Then RBC is larger in Plasmodium vivax, little larger than all other, okay, swollen. Then late trophozoite stage, you can see Plasmodium vivax more amoeboid. Here malaria, it's band form. Here it's fibrinated. Then schizons, maximum merozoites in Plasmodium vivax. Okay, female gametocyte, banana shaped structure in Plasmodium falciparum. This is how you will distinguish them. Okay, these pigments also have different names. Like for falciparum, it's known as Maurer spot. So there are different names for the pigments also. This is how you will distinguish them. Okay. Then what will you do? You can go for quantitative Buffy coat examination. So here you can see that parasitized RBCs, they appear as brilliant green dots. What are you coating them with? With acridin. Can you see here? This crescent shaped gametocyte of P. falciparum. Is it visible? No? Banana shaped? Little hard to distinguish, but this one is easier than this one. Right? Can you see this? Then what can you do? You can go for antigen detection test. Here for falciparum there is specific antigen known as histidine rich protein 2. For other species you can go for malarial antigens. For other species you can go for what? Aldolase or lactodehydrogenase. Okay. Then culture is basically done for antigen derivation. This is Roosevelt Park Memorial Institute 1640 medium. Okay, this is the culture medium that you can use for malaria. Then you can go for molecular diagnosis, PCR. How are you staining these peripheral blood smears? With Romanovsky stains such as Leishman, Jamesa, Jaswant Singh Bhattacharya, all these stains. What will these stains do? They will stain the nuclear material blue, okay, and cytoplasm pink, okay. But what is the disadvantage of PBS? What is the advantage of PBS? You can perform it in peripheries where there are no other things available, where there is no PCR, no antigen testing and everything is there. But what do you need? You need labor intensive, you need the microscopist, you need expertise, you need microscope, all those things are there. Okay, while doing antigen detection by rapid diagnostic tests, how will you interpret them? Whenever you are performing this, you have to see if this lateral flow assay slide, it has control or not. If there is no control, it means what? It means that the test is invalid. When there is no control, the control is not coming. If it's still showing white, it should turn red like this. It means the test is invalid. So here you can see that there is anti-falciparum antibody you can detect and anti-malarial antibodies. Okay. So when both are coming, it means there is a mixed infection. When one of them is coming positive, it means it could be based on which node is coming positive. You can see If it's anti-malarial, it means all species or specific to Falciparum. Okay. This is how you have to interpret. Coming to the next topic. Visceral leishmaniasis is caused by hemoflagellates by the name of Leishmania donovani. It was named Leishmania donovani because there were two people, Leishman and Donovan. These two people discovered this protozoal disease in India itself within the same year in different cities. Okay, in Kolkata also. One of the cities was Kolkata. What was the vector in malaria? Female Anopheles mosquito. Here the vector is sandfly. Okay. The sandfly is biting you. You will get infected with what? These things. These are promastigotes. This is the infective form of this protozoa. Okay. Just pay attention here. What is happening? Sandfly is injecting promastigotes into skin during a blood meal, which is the infective stage. Then they are phagocytosed by neutrophils. What will these neutrophils do? These neutrophils will then release these promastigotes and give them to macrophages. But in macrophages, they'll undergo what? They transform into amastigotes. Amastigotes do not have flagellum. Okay. I'll show you how it looks like in the next slide. So these promastigotes are converted into amastigotes. This amastigote is diagnostic form. What was the infective form? Promastigote. What is the diagnostic form? Amastigote. Then again, when the sandfly is feeding onto the skin, it will take up these amastigotes, and this inside the sandfly, these amastigotes, after this ingestion of these parasitized cell, they will again transform to the promastigotes, and this is how the cycle will continue. Understood? What is the vector? Sandfly. Sandfly is biting, giving what? Promastigote. Promastigotes converted into human into amastigote. Amastigote again taken up by sandfly. Sandfly again converting into promastigotes. Okay. Why visceral? Visceral because it's affecting which organs? Viscera, spleen, bone marrow, all the reticuloendothelial system. Okay. What are the things that, what are the symptoms that you can find here? Fever, unexplained weight loss, hepatosplenomegaly, hypergammaglobulinemia. You can see here hyperpigmentation, right? All these things will occur. How will you diagnose? Again, here you are performing GM-SUST. What is the most sensitive sample? Since it's a viscera, you can take splenic aspiration. But is it possible always to take this? So we prefer what? Bone marrow. Okay. You will take most commonly preferred sample, bone marrow aspiration. Or you can go for lymph node aspiration, you can go for liver biopsy, or in HIV infected person, you can go for PBS. I was talking about amastigotes. This is how it looks like. This is oval structure. This is nucleus. This is kinetoplast. This is exonym. Okay. Very good. You can see here, see, this is amastigote, right? This is promastigote. यहाँ से क्या आ रहा है? Flagellum. So this is promastigote. Then this is epimastigote. These are all the stages. But you have to remember these two. For what? This is diagnostic stage and this is infective stage. This is epimastigote. You can see the flagellum coming from in between here, and then this is trepomastigote. Here you can see nucleus. This is exiting from the posterior end but undulating and covering towards the forward. So this is trepomastigote. Okay, easy to remember like this. When there is no flagellum here, this portion is known as exonym. You can perform what? Culture. For what? For species identification and drug specificity. What is this NNN medium? Novi McNeil Nicole medium. What does it have? It has the blood agar base with, generally with the cutaneous aspirate from infected people. Okay, this will allow these organisms to grow, to transform. Then there is something called a Schneider's liquid medium. Just remember the names. Triple N and Schneider's for visceral leishmaniasis. Then what can you go for? Antibody detection through ELISA, IFA direct agglutination test and immunochromatography again for antigens. So just remember these three things very commonly: antigen detection, antibody detection and PCR. Okay? What is this form? Promastigode. Okay. What is Leishmanin test? Leishmanin test is when you inject a person with antigen, Leishman antigen, and there is more than 5 mm in duration on the skin. It indicates that the test is positive. It indicates that the person has a good CMI. What is CMI? Cell-mediated immunity. Okay. It is positive in all stages except visceral, active visceral leishmaniasis and diffuse cutaneous leishmaniasis. Okay. It used to be done in the past. Now it's not done. Then animal inoculation, animal of preferences, golden hamster. What is hamster? It's a mouse-like animal, right? What are the non-specific tests to detect? Hypergammaglobulinemia and pancytopenia. Because what is getting affected? Bone marrow is also getting affected. This was visceral leishmaniasis. Okay. Coming to lymphatic filariasis. Why lymphatic? Huh? Because lymph nodes are getting affected and lymphatic system is getting affected. What is this? Elephant foot. Okay. Lymphatic filariasis is caused by? What is the causative agent? Butyriria bancrofti. Okay. Again, here what is the vector? What is this? Mosquito. Which mosquito? Culex and Aedes also. What are the other diseases caused by Aedes mosquito? Dengue and dengue, chikungunya and yellow fever. Okay? Okay, so what is happening? There are again two forms that you have to remember. What was the infective form in leishmaniasis? Promastigode. Diagnostic form was amastigode. Here you will see in filariasis there are, what is filariasis? What is this? Brugia malai and Butyriria bancrofti. It's basically a nematode. Here you will see they exist in adult form and larval form. Okay, there are no eggs here. So mosquito is taking a blood meal, L3 larva, which is filariform larva. It will enter the skin. What will happen in human stage? This is human stage. This is mosquito stage. L3 larva, filariform larva is entering a human in adults. Then in lymphatics, these larvae are differentiated into male and female sexual forms. Okay, what will happen? They will convert into sheath microfilary and then reach the bloodstream. So the sheath microfilary is the diagnostic form. Okay, what is the diagnostic form here? Microfilary. Microfilary is which? L1 form. Okay, it was entering at which level? L3 form. How did it become L1 to L3? Because it underwent molting inside the mosquito. What is molting? Have you seen an animal, let's suppose, an animal shedding its skin and renewing itself? Very good. So, it is becoming this form in mosquito. So, to say mosquito is taking up which form while taking a meal again? To convert it into L3? Microfilarial form, and giving a human which form, which is infective form? Filariform, L3, okay? Synonyms, L3 also you can say. So you can see here it's given. Infective stage, this is infective stage, L3 larva. Diagnostic stage, this is diagnostic stage. Diagnostic stage is L1, microfilaria, okay? How will you demonstrate a microfilary in blood? Again with thin and thick smear. It will appear in the blood it can appear in the blood as nocturnal or diurnal, or sometimes it's absent in the blood. But does that mean the person is free of filaria? No, it can happen that they're released into the bloodstream after you give them some stimulation. What is that stimulation? You give patient diethyl carbamazine. Okay, after giving this drug, these microfilaria are shed into the blood, and then you can find them within 1 hour. After you perform PBS, you can find them into the blood. Okay, because their release is dependent on their species. Sometimes it's nocturnal, sometimes diurnal. Okay. How to differentiate for lymphatic filariasis, how to differentiate between these two, Wuchereria bancrofti and Brugia malai. Wuchereria bancrofti will have tail tip pointed and free of nucleus, there will be no nucleus. In Brugia malai, it will be blunt, tail tip will be blunt and nuclei extended up to the tail tip. Okay. Which one of this is Brugia malai? B. B. Why B? No, see the labels properly. Which one is Brugia malai? C. Why? It is blunt. The tail tip is blunt. Nucleus is going inside it. This is a little slender, little more slender, you can see, right? The tail tip is pointed and there is no nucleus here. Can you see this? What else you can do? Antigen detection, antibody detection. You don't have to remember everything, all these things, but for MCQs you might have to. Okay. Imaging methods, you can do your ultrasound. Ultrasound is usually performed for all the swellings and all, so you can find out there also, filarial dance sign and USG. You can perform molecular methods, PCR you can perform. And since it has to, what else can you find out? Elevated IgE, also known as, are these things together? Are these things related? Okay, they are related to allergy. Eosinophilia means increase in number of eosinophils, and this immunoglobulin E elevated. Okay, this was about lymphatic filariasis. See the features of Wuchereria bancrofti. It's sheeted, nocturnal, pointed tail tip, no nucleus. In Brugia malai, it's again sheeted, nocturnal, but tail tip is blunt with nucleus. Here in this picture you can figure out, see the nucleus they were talking about. Okay. What's the name of the malarial parasite? Not only falciparum, Plasmodium. So there are 5 species known to infect humans. What are these 5 species? Oval and Knowlesi. Okay. What are the stages? Sexual stage and asexual stage. Sexual stage is taking place where? Mosquito. And asexual stage? What, what happens in the liver when these sporozoids that are taken up by the liver? What happens? Sometimes these merozoites, they are not released into the bloodstream, but they remain in the hepatocytes. Okay, they remain occult in hepatocytes, and these hepatocytic merozoites, they're known as hypnozoites. So they remain there for many years, okay, and that causes malarial relapse also. Okay, there is something called, you will see that in lecture. What happens then? These merozoites are released into the blood cells. In blood cells, they take up which form? They become female and male gametocytes. Then they are taken up by, again through blood meal, they are taken up by mosquito. They undergo ookinesis. Then they release what? Sporozoites again. Sporozoites are released to where? To blood and then to liver. So this gap, this time difference is very small. From release of sporozoites through mosquito bite into blood and their entry to hepatocytes does not take a long time. Okay? This is important thing. How will you differentiate based on early trophozoite? Which plasmodium is it? Which one is easier to differentiate? Falciparum, because it has what? A coal form. In vivax, you will see a little large, enlarged RBC. Okay? Oval, as the name suggests, will look oval. Okay. Late trophozoite stage, it will become amoebic. But which one is the distinct form here? In Plasmodium malari, it will have a band form, right? In oval, this RBC will become fimbriated. This fimbrious, this you can see. Irregular borders, basically, okay? Schizons. Based on the number of merozoites inside the RBC, you will distinguish it in Plasmodium vivax, the maximum number of merozoites, okay? Then female gametocyte for falciparum, banana shape. Female gametocyte little larger than male gametocyte. Okay. What are these dots, dots, dots? They are all pigments. Okay. What is the infective form in visceral leishmaniasis? Promastigotes. What is the diagnostic form in humans? Amastigotes. Okay. What were the symptoms we could see in visceral leishmaniasis? You can see here, this is cutaneous leishmaniasis, okay? This thing. You can see the skin. This is different. Which stain are you performing here? Which staining? You will perform James staining. What will you see? LD bodies, Leishman-Donovan bodies. Macrophage filled with amastigote forms. Can you see it here? This is a macrophage. What does it have inside it? Amastigotes. What else can you do? You can culture it for drug sensitivity and antigen, for acquisition of antigen and also speciation. What is the name of the culture medium? Triple N medium and Schneider's medium. What was triple N? Novi, McNeil, Nicole. Just start calling your friends by these names, you'll remember. Then antibody detection in serum through ICT, ELISA, immunofluorescence assay and direct agglutination tests. What are these? Promastigotes. Okay. What was the infective form in filariasis? Infective form, filariform larva, which is L3 larva. Okay. And what was the diagnostic form? Sheet microfilaria, L1. Okay. What are the two stages? Human stage and mosquito stage. What is this mosquito? Culex or Aedes. Okay. Then what is happening here? How did it become from L1 to L3? It underwent what? Molting. Inside what? Mosquito. What is the difference between Wuchereria bancrofti and malai? Brugia malai? Pointed tail with no nucleus is which one? Wuchereria bancrofti. Blunt end with nucleus is which one? This is Brugia malai. Okay. Then you can go for antigen antibody detection also.